It was a quiet Sunday morning at the ranch when I heard the sound of metal snapping. Not the kind of snap you hear from tools or farm work. This was sharper, meaner. I knew instantly what it was. Someone had cut a lock. I set down my coffee and walked to the barn window. Sure enough, there she was, Karen, my neighbor, self-appointed HOA enforcer, and constant pain in the neck. She stood at my front gate, bolt cutters dangling in her hands like trophies. Behind her, my Jeep. Not just any Jeep, this was the task force Jeep. Armored, outfitted, and tagged with law enforcement equipment. I'd lent my property to the local police task force for training, and they had parked it in my yard as part of their mobile unit. It wasn't mine to drive, it was theirs. But it was on my land and it was secure, or so I thought. Karen, in her infinite arrogance, had decided she wanted it. She hopped in, adjusted the seat like she was heading to the mall, and started fiddling with the ignition. I stepped onto the porch. Karen, step away from the vehicle. She flinched, then glared at me. Oh, please, this Jeep has been sitting here for weeks. It's abandoned. The HOA voted and we decided it was an eyesore. I'm moving it. The HOA doesn't control my property. I shot back. And that Jeep isn't abandoned. It belongs to the police. Karen snorted. Do you expect me to believe that? You think you can just scare me with stories? No, this is mine now. You don't need it. Before I could respond, she cranked the ignition. Big mistake. The Jeep roared to life, lights flashing, sirens chirping once. The task force had fitted it with anti-theft tracking. And right on cue, I heard it, the sound of sirens in the distance. Karen froze, her hands still on the wheel. What's happening? You just activated the GPS beacon, I said calmly. They're on their way. She panicked, tried to slam it into reverse, but the vehicle locked itself down. Task force vehicles don't move without the right key. She was trapped inside, pounding on the steering wheel like a child throwing a tantrum. 2 squad cars pulled up in less than 3 minutes. Lights, sirens, the whole show. Officers jumped out, weapons drawn. Step out of the vehicle, they shouted. Karen scrambled, her face pale. Wait, no, this is a misunderstanding. The HOA said, the HOA doesn't authorize you to steal law enforcement property. One of the officers barked. She stammered excuses. I thought it was abandoned. I thought it was junk. The cops weren't having it. They hauled her out, cuffed her on the spot, and read her rights while I leaned on the porch rail, sipping the last of my coffee. As they loaded her into the cruiser, Karen screamed at me. This is your fault. You set me up. I raised an eyebrow. No, Karen. You set yourself up the moment you cut my lock. The officers gave me a nod of respect before pulling away, Karen wailing in the back seat. Later, I learned she was charged with attempted grand theft auto, destruction of property, and trespassing. The HOA tried to spin it, of course, saying she meant well and was just cleaning up the neighborhood. But nobody bought it. Even the board was embarrassed. And as for me, I got a thank you dinner from the task force for keeping my cool and letting their system work exactly as designed. Karen never so much as looked at my Jeep again.